Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Adrienne Farrow, and I am your Google BFF, your friendly digital product specialist, and a Google for Education certified trainer. And today I am presenting on Google Classroom. Now, many people might be familiar with Google Classroom. You might have used it in your school at one time or another. Maybe you've been a student that has used Google Classroom. However, I'm here to give an overview of what Google Classroom looks like both on the teacher side and the student side so that you know when your products are being sold, how they are being used in the classroom. So let's get started. All right, so here is Google Classroom, and I have two different classes within Google Classroom that is already set up. As a Google trainer, I have access to a training domain, so that is what we are actually using today to go over what Google Classroom looks like. Now, if I am a teacher, I can go ahead and do the plus sign to create a class like this. So my class could be, I'm just going to say test class, section. If I needed to, that would be like a period 1, maybe it's English. And I do like how they have this drop down department or, subject list. And if you needed a room, you could put a room there. But most of that is optional. The only thing is the class name up at the top. And then it's going to go ahead and create that class. Here we go. So as you can see over here on the side, we have easily to see all of the classes that we are teaching. And it's really cool that you can actually delineate between those that are being taught and those that you are a student in, because that is really important. In some instances, Google Classroom's used for professional development, etc. And so teachers might actually be students within Google Classroom. So here is our stream. Now, stream is very similar to like a Facebook feed. It's where a teacher can share announcements, assignments are posted, reminders, student questions might be there. And so if I was a teacher, I could send an announcement here that says, don't forget to bring your book to class. And here, this is the same for almost any aspect of things that are posted on Google Classroom. But you can always add a Google Drive file, a YouTube video, upload a file, include a link, and then there's additional add-ons, which we won't go into during this training. So if I were to add a Google Drive file, I could go in here and I would have access to everything that is, I could upload from my computer. I could have anything that's in my drive. But just for this purposes, I'm going to click this Economics 101. So here it is, and then I can say post. And as that little pop-up said not too long ago, you can actually schedule and save draft, which is great as well. So that is going to be posted right there. Classwork is right here where you can go create. An assignment is really where we're going to stick with to really focus on during this training. I'm going to go back over here to the economics, environmental science to show you what an assignment looks like, because there's some that are populated over there. But you can also have a quiz assignment, which makes a form automatically a quiz and brings in those grades as well. You can have a question where students can interact on Google Classroom, almost like a discussion board. Material is something that needs to be provided to the students that doesn't actually need a grade involved. And you can also reuse posts. So if you have something that you've posted at a previous point and then you need to reuse it, this is fantastic. Topics actually separate and make sections from within Google Classroom. So that's how you can organize Google Classroom. People is where you have your teachers and students list, and then grades is where there can be a grade book. So let's head over here to this economics class. As this little pop-up feature says, you can use Meet directly within Google Classroom, which is fantastic if that is something that you use. And a unique to your classroom link can be generated here. And you can also dismiss it if you don't need to use that. Your class code is what is being used by others to get into the class if a school or district or even teachers don't automatically populate the class. So I'm going to also, you can either copy the invite link, copy the class code, reset it if you need to, or turn it off. And then upcoming work is right here as well. Let's go here to the classwork page. So here is a drop-down menu for all the different topics that are there. And if we, let's go over to environmental science, see if it's right over here. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. Okay. Here in environmental science, we have a couple drafts of assignments here. And you can tell the assignments are these little clipboard ones. If it's a material, it has that little bookmark there. Assignment, there's no difference between the icon for assignment or quiz assignment. The quiz assignment just has a form involved in there as well. So let's go into this one. Here's a little preview of what it looks like. It looks like there's a Google Docs here. Let's edit this assignment before we actually have our students use it. So this add or create materials from within your assignment, add or create docs, slides, sheets, drawings, and forms. We're going to look at that here in just a second. This is the hub for where your products would be uploaded to Google Classroom. So if your product is purchased by a buyer and they're uploading it to Google Classroom, they'll do that through this Drive feature. And that's how this Google Docs one is right here. They can actually create from directly within here, which is wonderful as well. But that is not relevant to using teacher pay teacher products or other teacher author products in Google Classroom. So right here, we have this Google Doc called Plastic in Our Ocean, and we can look here to see. And this is a fill in the blank kind of doc. So we have a question, and then we have explain your answer here, and then another aspect right here. And the training system that I use automatically populates this information in here. Right now, this is set to students can view the file. So that would be for a collaborative project where you want all of the students to get in on the same file and work together. Students can view a file is where students would only be able to go on and look at the Google Doc. They would not be able to edit it, type into it, or anything. Just like anyone with the file can view setting, that is what this one is. Students can edit the file would mean that everyone would get on the file together and collaborate, and they would all be editing the same file at the same time. There is definitely a time and place for that. However, I think for this particular doc, we want to make a copy for each student. So this is like your forced copy. It would take the original and then it makes a copy for each individual student so that they have a copy of the document to work on. So we're going to go ahead and assign this. Other information that a teacher could put in there is you can actually have it go to more than one class. You can have it go to specific students. So I only have one student, me, in the other class. But if I had lots of students, I could just differentiate and show which students it needs to go to. You can set a due date. You can set a topic, which is those sections. And you can set a grade category. We're not going to go through all of these grading periods and things like that, but you can set a point value. You can even say it's ungraded. Set a grading period rubric, and there's originality reports, which is a separate part for Google. So let's assign. You can also schedule it or save it as a draft, but we're going to assign it. So let's do this. And then I'm going to go back and perfect. So this is assigned. We can see that there's no students have turned it in, but it's one assigned. And then let's see here. This one is the set video. Let's just go into here and we're going to go over as a student. Here I am as a student in these classes. So I'm going to go to that environmental science class. And I see that a new assignment has been posted and I can go to classwork and I can see the assignment. And then here is where my copy of the assignment is. So this is my work right here. Okay, so it also lets us know that I can see all the edits. And so one of the things I do want to show, because I think this is pretty awesome. So I can, as a teacher, so this is the teacher screen. I can go in here to student work and I can see that this is the one Google Classroom training. So I can click here and I can see this student's work right here and I can actually see them work on it. So if I'm over here and this is my answer to the question, I can use Google Classrooms to see in real time how students are working. I can also send, as a teacher, private comments. So I can give them an information like, don't forget MLA formatting, and that would go on their assignment, which I'll show you in a second. And then I can also put comments in here. So if I put this one, don't forget to read the text before answering. And then if I comment, it will be shown over here. So I can see that there's been a comment made right here. And then I can talk with my teacher, or I can say okay or thumb up or acknowledge that it's been there. And if I go back over here to my classwork as a student, view instructions, I can see that my teachers communicated with me. I have a private comment over here that I can then, thank you for the reminder. And now I have a conversation that I'm doing with my teacher. And then if I'm all done with my work and I'm ready to have it be graded, I can then click turn it in. And I also have the option of adding additional, click cancel right there, additional documents here, but my copy is going to be right here. And notice up here at the top, it says my name right here. My training domain name is 1YT Google Classroom Training. But it would say the student's name here automatically, and then Plastics in Our Ocean is what the Google Doc title was. So I'm going to turn that in. And then I also have the option to unsubmit it, because when I turn it in, I've lost access to actually edit it. So if I'm here, it's now become view only. So I can't actually edit anything until my teacher sends it back to me. So I can actually click unsubmit because maybe I forgot to add something or whatnot. And then if I refresh, now I have some ability to use that. And then if I go over here, turn it back in, then I'm going to go over to the teacher side. Okay, so here I have my student here. It's been assigned. I can see that it's been turned in. So it'll show that it'll segment the students into turn it in and assigned. And then from here, I have my private comments, and then I can click that student's work. And now I can, continue to comment on it, put any suggestions, whatnot, and then I can give them a grade. So maybe I'm going to do a 98 here. And then the key one right up here is that when a teacher is done, they want to return it back to their student, because when you return the work back to the student, they will be notified and they can look at the grade. And then that ownership of the material passes back to them. And then now I can see the grades for my students all right here. And the student can see their grades as well. So they can go into classwork. It says graded. I can view instructions. It says graded right here. It says what my score is, 98 out of 100. And then if I go back to here, I can actually view my work. And so then I can have a list of all of my assignments, and I can see if it's assigned, anything that's been returned, and then if anything that's been missing. So it's very, very comprehensive. So that's how your resources would be used in Google Classroom. I found working with teacher authors that it's really helpful to see in practice where resources would be going. So I hope that this was helpful for you, just to get a visual of what Classroom looks like and how resources are assigned from within Classroom, and how students get copies and teachers can provide feedback, etc. Over the next couple videos, I'll be going over some of the more fine details of Google Classroom. So definitely make sure you are subscribed to this channel so that you don't miss a video that comes out. And don't forget to check out my free masterclass on digitizing with Google, so that you can find out more information about how to digitize your resources, whether you are a teacher author selling on TPT or another platform, or you're a classroom teacher and that you just want to digitize your own resources. Follow me on Instagram, check me out over on Facebook at my Facebook group, and don't forget again to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.